Alright, welcome back to B Monthly Reviews, and today we've got not one, but two awesome Transformers statues from Prime 1 Studio. We've got, from their Generations line, the Optimus Prime and his arch enemy Megatron from the Decepticons. So if you're a kid from the 80s like me, you probably either had a Transformer or you played with your friends' Transformers and you probably thought they were awesome because they were. I think it was Soundwave that turned into a Walkman. It had a little bird that popped out, the cassette tape. That was so cool. I've shown it to my kids and of course they don't know what a cassette tape is and they can't figure out why this robot would transform into a box. They think it's totally lame. But back in the day, that was the coolest one, I thought. And I wanted Megatron so bad. I never had this guy. My mom wouldn't let me have him because he transformed into a gun. And of course I wanted it precisely because he transformed into a gun. That was awesome. But anyways, we've got them both sitting here. Transformers from the Generations lineup from Prime 1. So let's get into the review. Okay, let's get into the design and the sculpt on these two statues. I'm not sure who sculpted the statues, but I do know that Prime 1 enlisted the help of Josh Nizzi for the design. So he's a Hollywood concept artist. He worked on the Transformers movies. He's worked on a lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. So he does really cool modern artwork, and they brought him in to help modernize and update the original G1 designs for these Transformers. So I think they did a really great job together because both of these guys, I think you take one look at it and they're instantly recognizable as those toys. And, you know, as far as the nostalgic look that we like, when we think back to our old toys, right? But still very modernized and updated. So let's take a look at Megatron first. And I like that they have his huge arm cannon kind of raised up. It's sort of front and center because that's the part from the old toy that I remember the most. And he's got that ready and he's sort of threatening with it. Very cool design there. I love his body. Like he looks very armored up, right? He's a little sleeker than Optimus is, and I'll get into that later, but still very updated, modernized look to him. You know, you look in the chest, you know, he's got the louvers and the air intake in his chest. You know, lots of cool design or details around his neck there. And if you look even up in his legs here, on the inside of his legs, you can see like the hydraulics up in there that would help his legs move. So very cool, intricate design here. I really like what they did with Megatron. The one complaint I have about this statue is the base. You can see one foot, you know, he's standing on sort of a metal platform, and then the other one's on the rock, and it's got the sand in the middle. It kind of reminds me of opening a carton of Neapolitan ice cream, you know, with the chocolate and the strawberry and the vanilla, and it's like, you know, straight line divides. And that's kind of the sense I get here. I would have preferred having one or the other. Like Optimus here, he's got standing on one big rock. So that's one complaint I maybe have for it, but overall I think the statue looks great. You know, moving on to Optimus, I mentioned that Megatron's a little sleeker because I think Optimus Prime looks a lot more mechanical and robotic than Megatron does. I really like the design on this guy. I think he looks really, really cool. So I'll spin him around here. But I really love the legs and the wheels from the truck there. All the, you know, pistons and hydraulics in his feet. My eyes are really drawn to his legs. I don't know why, but they look really, really cool. His chest as well, like in behind the windows on the chest, it's got the, you know, the gears and the wheels there, all detailed and sculpted. Very, very cool, intricate design. And like I said, you know, you look behind the knee pads, you can see the wires and the conduits and things on his knees. Very, very cool design. I really like both of these guys. Optimus Prime, I think just overall the character, I've always liked him a little bit better, but anyway, both of them look really, really cool. The one thing I might have changed about it, and it's just personal preference because, you know, you want to display them together, I might have had more of a symmetrical design, like they're both got the same arm raised up. I maybe would have flipped the gun to his left hand so they could be more symmetrical, but that's just one of my personal OCD things. But overall I think they look great and they look great together, so great job on the design, the sculpt from Prime 1. Alright, so let's run through the paint real quick for both statues, and I think both of them have a really nice clean paint job. Megatron, if you look at him, the black areas and the red on his body have sort of more of a glossy metallic finish to them, whereas the silver areas have more of a matte finish to it. And I think that was probably the right move, because if it was all glossy and shiny, it might have been just a little bit too much. So I like having the contrast of finish there. It looks really, really nice. There's a little bit of scratching and scraping in there, like battle damage or wear put in. So he's been around, this Megatron, and I really like what they did around the feet. It's sort of like almost like a rusted dirt look to it around the perimeter of his feet, and that's probably the highlight of the whole paint job for me. Actually, it looks really, really cool. Optimus Prime is sort of the same thing here. Like the blue and the red has that sort of glossy automotive type finish to it, which is perfect for Optimus Prime. And then the silver parts have that sort of knocked down matte finish, which again I think was the right idea. Too much gloss, would have been just too much gloss, right? This looks really good. Nice contrast of finish again. Very clean paint job on him. He's got the same kind of scratches and wear around his body, some battle damage in there, but still pretty clean finish to him. Both statues' paint jobs, I think, yeah, they look pretty good, so nothing really to complain about there. Alright, so for production and build quality on these two pieces, I'm just going to quickly show you how Megatron goes together. Both legs, you can see, are separate pieces, and they just fit onto the base first. And then you take the body here, he's got one magnet on one side and a metal rod on the other side. And you just kind of pull the legs apart a bit to fit that into place. And once it slots in, you can see a nice sturdy feel to that. So easy fit there. You take the two pieces that go on his hips. The red part goes in the front, and they just slot in with magnets into the side. The arms fit in with magnets as well, so slots in nice and easy. Then go with the right arm, like so. You got his arm cannon. Now the back piece comes off, and inside there are the batteries that power the light up feature. So you just put that back on, throw the batteries in, and the button's just here on the back. So you push that and it lights up purple, and then it fits into his arm with a magnet there. So nice and easy. The head just slots on to the top, and one cool feature with the head on both these guys is they both do turn. So you can kind of angle the position and then change the head position a little bit to your liking, so that's pretty cool. The hands, again, magnets, nice sturdy magnet fit there, and on the front arm there. And lastly, I'll show you at the back. You can see where the batteries go. There's two AA batteries there for the light up feature in his head. And he's got this cover plate on the back, so you just throw that on there. So pretty easy to assemble that statue. Now the button for his light up feature on his head here is just at the back. So you push that, and you get that nice evil red glow there. Now if you forget or you need some help, both statues come with an assembly guide, so it's got all the pieces there and how to assemble it step by step. So pretty easy though. Optimus Prime goes together much the same way, with the legs being separate and you drop the body in and everything. So almost identical setup for him. The exclusive versions, which I have here, come with these extra weapons. So he's got this sword, Megatron does, for his right hand, and you can go with this spiked flail for his right hand. It actually fits in both, but it's supposed to go for his right hand. And these are huge weapons. Like, I feel like if you were into cosplay or something, you could use these as part of your costume. Like, look at the size of that thing. That's huge. And then this got a nice metal chain to it, so pretty cool alternate weapons, I would say. But ultimately, if it was me, I think I would stick with just the fists. That's more of the classic look that I like best. Now Optimus Prime, he's got some switch out axes. He's got for his right hand, so you can take the gun off and you can go with this fusion axe, so that's a big axe, or you can go with his energy axe here. And I prefer this one if you're going to go with an axe look, but you get the two options there. And again, those just fit in with a magnet, and let's see, like so. So nice easy fit there. I think I like the gun the best. I think the arm position is best suited for the gun, and it's more, again, the classic look that I remember from a kid. But other than that, Megatron, as you saw, went together very nicely. Optimus had a little bit of issue with some of the parts. So, there's a little bit of a fitment issue with his left leg. Took a little bit of modification to get it seated all the way down. And the other problem that you might want to watch out for is this back plate. So, similar to Megatron, the batteries for his light up feature go in the back there, and the buttons at the back here, it pushes up like that to turn the eyes on and off. But this plate here, as you can see, it'll go on, and that looks like it's on, but see how easy that comes off? So you really got to look, these two little pegs here on the bottom, and they slot into place. You really got to make sure those get slotted in to get that nice firm grab to it. Otherwise, this piece will fall off fairly easily. So make sure you get those two bottom pieces slotted in all the way. But other than that, I'd say both pieces, fairly good quality pieces. The packaging is nice. It uses this sort of silky material to protect the paint. I like when statues do that, and both of these have that. But otherwise, I'd say the quality is pretty good on these guys. They're both really heavy statues. Optimus Prime is really heavy, so be careful moving him around. I will point out, don't be fooled by the height here. Megatron, head to toe is actually a little bit taller than Optimus Prime. I've just got him raised up a little bit here on the table. So Megatron's a little bit bigger. I think he's supposed to be bigger, a little more intimidating. But overall, I think the production quality on both of these turned out pretty good, aside from those few small issues on Optimus Prime. Alright, so just before we wrap up the review here, you can see I switched to some of the exclusive parts here. The giant sword and the flail for Megatron, so he's all ready for battle here. And the energy axe for Optimus Prime. So, to wrap up, we went through the sculpt and design for these two statues. I'd probably give the edge there to Optimus Prime. I just really like that mechanical, robotic look that he has. Very intricate sculpt, a lot more visible details there compared to Megatron. Paint-wise, I think it's a saw-off. I think they both have really nice, clean paint jobs. Very solid job done on both of those paint-wise. Production and build quality, Megatron's probably got the edge there. He's, I'd say, just a little slightly better made statue. You saw how easily he went together and how nicely the parts fit together. Optimus Prime had a few issues there, as I mentioned, with the leg. Not all of them are going to have that leg fitment issue, but this one did. A few others I've seen have. The fit of the back plate is a little tricky. And just overall, he was a little more difficult to assemble than Megatron, so I'd say the Decepticon has the edge there. So almost a tie for these two guys. So I asked my wife, which one would you pick between these two? And she went with Optimus Prime. I asked her why. She says, well, he's a good guy, and I really like the window wipers on the front. So there you have it. It's official. Optimus Prime for the win. So says my wife. So anyways, both statues I think turned out really, really well. I can't end the review without thanking my friends Russ and Marco. These are Russ's statues, and they brought these two guys over to my house for review. So thank you guys. And again, hopefully you enjoyed the review. We'll talk to you guys soon.